You've probably got a folder somewhere, or a spreadsheet, or just a very good memory of the programs you've invested in over the years. Maybe it's the business coach who helped you get clear on your offer, the marketing course that showed you how to show up consistently, or the pricing workshop that helped you finally work out what to charge, the mastermind you joined for accountability and momentum. And each time there was a phase, maybe 3 weeks, maybe 6, where it was working, you were implementing, things were moving, and you could feel the difference. Then something happened. The momentum slowed, the old patterns came back, the new rate you'd set started feeling negotiable, the content schedule you'd built slipped, the systems you'd put in place started gathering dust, and somewhere in the back of your mind a very uncomfortable thought landed. I've done all the right things, so why is nothing actually changing? I'm Anna Lindberg, and I've spent over a decade working with founders and solopreneurs at exactly this moment, when the approach that's supposed to work isn't working. In this video, I want to talk about why that happens and what's actually missing. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I want to be clear that this is not an argument against learning or against investing in yourself or even against courses and programs full stop. The best ones do real things. They give you structure for what you already suspect you should be doing. They create defined accountability for a period. They help you learn what you don't yet know. The problem isn't that you got nothing from them. The problem is the pattern that follows. 3 weeks of momentum and then a plateau. Then often a different program because the next one might be the one that finally makes it stick. I've watched this happen with clients. I've experienced versions of it myself. And the people caught in it are almost never people who lack intelligence or commitment. They're often extremely self-aware. They can tell you exactly what they should be doing. They've read the books, done the courses, applied the frameworks. They're just not doing it consistently over time. And the instinct is to diagnose this as a discipline problem or a focus problem, or a sign that the last program just wasn't quite right. The next one will be different. What I think is actually happening is something else entirely. Behavior is downstream of belief. The course teaches you the behavior, it gives you the tools, the template, the framework. It shows you what to do. What it almost never touches is the belief underneath. The one that's been running the whole time and will keep running long after the program ends. Here's what I mean. Someone goes through a delegation course. They understand the rationale completely. They know exactly how to brief a task, how to hand over effectively, how to let go of the outcome. They try it, and for a few weeks it goes well. Then gradually, without quite deciding to, they start taking things back, checking in too much, redoing the work, doing the thing themselves because it's faster. The course wasn't wrong, the tools weren't wrong, but the belief underneath that I am the person who is across everything, I'm a perfectionist, my value comes from knowing the detail. That belief wasn't part of the curriculum, and it's still running, which means every time they try to delegate, the behaviour is fighting the identity, and the identity wins. Or someone does a pricing course, they work out a new rate. It's clearly the right number for their level of expertise. They go to raise it and something hesitates. They soften the email. They offer a discount before the client even asks, and they don't send it at all. The course told them what to charge. It didn't touch the belief that says, people might leave if I charge that, or I'm not quite sure I'm worth it yet, or charging more means I have to be perfect and I'm not certain I am. The map and the terrain are different things. You can have an excellent map. If the terrain is different from what it shows, you'll keep getting lost. What's missing in most programs is the conversation. Not the live Q&A at the end of a module, not the community group where people post their wins. It's the real conversation. The one where someone who's been watching you over time says, I've noticed that every time you talk about putting your prices up, something changes in how you're speaking. What's that about? The kind of conversation that requires specific conditions, someone who knows you across multiple sessions and not just one call, trust built through showing up in the same room repeatedly, proximity to the territory, they're building something similar, they understand what the stakes actually feel like, and the permission to say the uncomfortable thing because the relationship can hold it. That's not a course, it's not even a coach above you, it's actually a peer alongside you. I was on a call with a client recently. She'd done the business development program, the content course, the networking workshop. She knew exactly what she needed to do. She could list it without pausing. Post more consistently, follow up with those warm leads, do more networking. Every item started with, I should. What I noticed was that she'd said the exact same things 6 months earlier, not because she'd forgotten, not because she lacked the tools, because I should is telling you something. It's the gap between what you know and what you're actually doing. And what lives in that gap is almost never more information. It's a belief that hasn't been examined yet. When we looked at what was underneath the networking piece specifically, what came up was that she didn't want to be seen as someone who needed clients. That belief had been running the whole time and no course had touched it. Once she could see it, she could actually decide whether it was still true and whether she'd choose it. That's what offscript is built around. Not content, not modules, a community for established independents who want peers who understand the territory and who'll name what they see when you're too close to see it yourself. We're open now for the July intake, link is in the video description. And if you're not quite there yet, stay with me. I'm going to keep making videos on the patterns running underneath the business and what it actually takes to change them. Subscribe so you can follow along.